What is going on? What is going on? Good morning, family. It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, and it is another episode of Philly's Morning Joe. We are back in the building, man. I am excited to talk today, man. We got a lot to cover. Yesterday, I wasn't able to go live, but I did put out a video, so if you guys want to watch that, definitely go show some love to that, talking about Fletcher Cox and his injury, which we will talk about today as well. We'll talk about some more injuries that we have to face today, but I'm excited for this game, man. I think that this is going to be a really big test, and, you know, kind of going off of that, that is what the poll question is today. So I wanted to know if you guys think that this is going to be a big test as well. So the question is, are the Rams our first real test? So far, we have 10 votes. It is 60-40, 60% saying no, 40 of you guys saying yes. So I am on the fence, and throughout this live stream, I'm sure I'll start to kind of find where I lie. But look, this is going to be a good game. You know, obviously, just to kind of go over the top of everything, you have Matthew Stafford, you have Puka Nacua, you got Cooper Kupp, you have an offense that can make some things happen. They're scoring a lot of points. You look at the defense can make plays happen. Obviously have one of the best defensive players in the league in Aaron Donald. So, I mean, and he thinks that he can stop the tush push. So that will be interesting right there. But I'm excited. I'm excited because I do feel like this is a team that lines up well against us. I feel like our defense hasn't shown what they can really do. If you can go out there and show them what you can really do against a team like this, there's not much you can say. I mean, this offense is a good offense regardless of their record, which I think they're 2-2 anyway. So it's not like they're, you know, a trash team. They have veterans in key positions. They have young, good players in key positions. So it's going to be an interesting battle, but I'm excited for it. And I'm ready for people to understand what the Philadelphia Eagles are, because I feel like a lot of people don't really realize how good the Philadelphia Eagles can be. But who we got in this building? We already got 10 people in the building. Shout out to all of y'all. We have KJ was the first one in here, and I know we're gonna have to talk about this. I know we're gonna have to talk about that, you know, demolishing that Washington went through last night. You know, and he asked, you know, is Washington that bad or are we that bad? I think it's a little bit of both. I think that division games are always rough, right? And I'm not giving no excuses. We should have went out there and dominated them just like the Bears did, if not worse. But division games are always tough. They're always going to be tough, and they're always going to give us their 100%. I don't know what happened. You know, my girl kept saying maybe we just took the fight out of them, and I'll take that. I'll roll with that. But it wasn't. Sam Howell looked good. I will say that. Obviously had that one interception, but like stat-wise, he did pretty darn good. I mean, having a young player, a second-year player throw the ball 50-plus times is really never a key for success. So I'm looking at this staff and kind of like, what the heck just happened? You guys had a great game plan against the Philadelphia Eagles and went against the Bears, and maybe you just thought it was going to be you could just walk all over them. I mean, they got out to a quick lead. It was tough for them to come back. So I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know what the heck happened, but hey, I don't really care. Washington sucks. It is what it is. Now this should give us a little bit more confidence going into that second game, because if we go out there looking like we did in the first game, I'm going to be a little bit worried after seeing what they just did against the Bears. So yeah, it is what it is. Linda said the Eagles are not in a bad position because they are competing for 4 quarters. By your logic, Dallas was beat by Arizona and Arizona lost to Washington. Does that make Dallas worse than Washington? Yes. No, I'm just kidding. No, I get what you're saying. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a week-by-week thing. Like, every week you're going to see a game that you're like, I did not expect that to go that way, right? You know, some teams go season longs like that. You look at the Seattle Seahawks last year. They exceeded a bunch of expectations last year, making it to the playoffs without Russell Wilson. So, you know, it's a week-by-week league. You never know what's really going to happen. You never know what's going to happen in a season. So, I mean, yeah, it is what it is. We can't look at that and really look at ourselves and be like, are we worse than the Bears? We're not worse than the Bears. It is. They just went out there and had a ball in game. I mean, DJ Moore, he looked pissed off. I'm gonna be realistic. The whole Bears team, and this is not saying that they, you know, should have won that game. They did win that game, so they should have. But they looked pissed off. They looked like they went out there and was like, we're tired of losing. We're tired of looking like this. They had a very good shot against the Washington Commanders, who aren't great. You know what I'm saying? We all know that they aren't great. They had a good chance and they took it. So, I mean, you can't really, you know, you can make excuses. You can make, you know, whatever you want to say. But at the end of the day, they went out there and did what they were supposed to do. Justin Fields was like, I mean, Justin Fields was all right? He missed 15 passes. He missed 14 passes, I think, completed 15. So it was like, he was just making big plays. I mean, people were just running wide open. DJ Moore was running wide open a lot. One of those touchdowns was just an amazing throw by Justin Fields. But, it is what it is. It is what it is. We now have a even bigger lead on the Washington Commanders. So I'm not really too worried about it. What's going on, Trey? What's going on? So where's that Commanders fan at? I would love to know. You know he ain't coming back. He ain't coming back, bro. They always say they're going to come back, and they never do. They never do. They go into hiding. It is what it is. We here. What's going on, Jose? What's going on? What else we got? We got a whole bunch of people in here. We got Eagles playbook in here. Rams are definitely legit. This feels like a trap game. I don't think it's a trap game. I think that Washington could have been looked at as a trap game because we felt so much better than them. But the Rams, I think, especially after that game against Washington, you're kind of on go. You're locked in. You're kind of like, all right, nobody's going to sneak up on us anymore. And we should be feeling like that because honestly, Washington, like I said, they are decent. They have a decent team together. They can play some football. But we shouldn't have been surprised by what they were doing. So, that should really wake us up. I truly do feel that. Make no mistake, this Rams game is really a must-win game because the Commanders lost and Dallas is losing to the Niners. I wouldn't say it's a must-win game. We should win this game. Only reason I'll say this is a must-win game, the only reason why I would say that is because your schedule gets so much harder. And not to take anything away from the Rams. Again, Of course my microphone goes out because that's just what happens. I think it was my dog. Every time my dog gets up, now I'm starting to find out the reason because he likes to lay under my table and lay under my cords. So every time he moves, I feel like it unplugs. But either way, the only reason I'll say this is a must-win game is because your schedule gets so much harder. And again, I'm not going to take anything away from the Rams. They could be a good team this year, but you have a stretch of just brutal games. I mean, between 6 days you're playing the Chiefs and the Bills, so you're most likely not going to go undefeated during that stretch. So you want to win these games, not just because of that stretch, but also for NFC standings, right? You want to be able to get that number 1 seed towards the end of the year. So that's where I'm at. What's going on, Alberto? Good morning. We made it. We here. Where are all the Commanders fans? I have no idea. McVay will target Job early and often. Good. Job has to get tested. If he's going to be out there, test him. I'm cool with that. I'm really cool with that. What's going on, Kataya's mom? Eagles need to run the ball with time of possession and keep the Rams offense off the field. I agree, Bobby. I agree 110%. I think that you have to do that with most offenses. Until your defense can prove that they're going to be shut down, right? Until they can prove that consistently, you have to be playing this game to keep the other offense off. Play keep away. And it might sound weak. It might sound whatever. It really doesn't matter. That's how you're going to win. We've seen teams go out there. You can go back to the Ravens when they won in 2000. They had like no offense. Their game plan was to keep that defense out there and keep that defense scoring and just try and run the ball and score and make it, as little possessions as possible. We could be doing the same thing just with our offense, So I'm kind of on the same plane right there. Ground game has to be a primary weapon. Yeah, definitely. DJ went off last night. He definitely did. Do you think the way Chicago's passing defense game plan was better handled than ours? Yes and no. I think it was better executed. I mean, we did very similar things. Like when you look at the Bears, they were playing off. They were, just taking away the deep shots, but they were also confusing, Sam Howell. There was a lot of times where the deep safety would come up to the line, come up, in the box and take away those quick passes that Sam Howell was getting through for us, against us, I should say. But they were doing kind of the same thing in my opinion. So I don't know. I'm not really reading it too much into that game. When we go play the Washington again, then maybe we look at that game and take some pointers of what we can do against them. But I think that we're going to see them probably lose again before we play them. So we'll have a lot of film on how to beat Washington. DJ Moore torched that commander. Yeah, DJ Moore is a beast, bro. DJ Moore is a beast. And I was starting to feel bad for him out there because he was getting no love. Like, not even no love. It was just they weren't playing well. They really were not playing well. What's good, Castro Bergen? What's going on, T-Well? We don't gaff about style points. Yeah, give a F about style points. The W is the only goal. Exactly. We got a pessimist. Sala says, hi there. Call me a pessimist, but think the product we put out the past few weeks is who we are. We might not be as good as last year. We might not. We might not. That's not pessimism. I mean, realistically, we might not be good as last year. There was a lot of things that happened for us last year, whether it was injuries, the lack of injuries, I should say, just gelling, right? That defense finally gelled together. That, offense was gelling together. Not many mistakes. We were getting a lot of lucky bounces of the ball. A lot of things happen for you to be a Super Bowl contending team. It's not just you playing well. So, I mean, I respect it. I'm not mad at you. It is what it is. We have to be better. And that's what the Eagles, that's what their job is now. Now their job is to prove to everybody that they are who we want them to be. So we'll see what happens. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We got 30 people in the chat. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, join the family. But I want to get into some of this stuff, man. I want to talk about what we got going on. All right, so as I did say, I did make a video about our injury report. This is the most recent injury report that came out yesterday. So this was basically about the, what's it called? The practice. This was based off their practice, but we do have a little bit more clarification, at least on the 3 players that I put here. So Fletcher Cox, Marlon Tialapatu, and Cam Jurgens look like they will not be going against the Rams. So we will be without our defensive tackle, 2 of them, and we will be without our guard. So we will be seeing Sua Peta, and then we will be seeing a lot of these young defensive linemen, man, and that's something I'm excited about. You'll probably see more snaps from Jordan Davis, which I'm cool with. You'll probably see more snaps from Jalen Carter, which I'm definitely cool with, but you might see a Moro Ojamu come up. You might see a Kentavious Street come up. I know he's not the youngest, but you might see him come up. You might see some of these guys that we were wondering about during the offseason. Milton Williams, another guy that might get a lot more snaps. These are guys that we all think are, future pieces, especially a Milton Williams, Jordan Davis, and Jalen Carter. But Moro Ojamu can make a name for himself this week if he gets some snaps. Kentavious Street, while he's already had some NFL experience, he can make himself useful to the Philadelphia Eagles this week. So, look, these are not good injuries. And Sua Peta, I'm confident that he'll be able to go out there and do a serviceable job. And is he going to be amazing? No. He's probably going to give up some, sacks. He's probably going to give up some ground to Aaron Donald. But, I mean, even if Cam Jurgens was in there, I'd be worried about Cam Jurgens going against Aaron Donald. So it's a tough matchup for anybody. Anybody's going to be, you have to give him help, right? So you're probably, and I'm not going to love this, but you're probably going to see a lot more of Kenneth Gainwell because they trust him more in the pass protection. So I'm hoping that doesn't take away from DeAndre Swift's ability to go out there and get some good yards, get some big plays for us, and just really lead that running game. But you might see more Kenny Gainwell. If they are realizing they can't hold the interior of that defensive line, you might see Kenny Gainwell out there just to help out. You might also see some more tight end sets, some more 2 tight end sets. We saw that Albert O finally got activated last week. Didn't really see many snaps. I think it was less than 9, something like that. You might see more of him. You might see more of Dallas Goedert as a blocker. He's been blocking his tail off, these first couple of weeks. So these injuries, like I said, and Britton Covey's back, so that's good news. But these injuries are definitely not ideal, but I feel like the Philadelphia Eagles set themselves up in a way that they can handle these, especially if it's only for one game. We'll see what happens with Cam Jurgens. That might be a little bit longer. Offensive line might be somewhere that you start seeing some news coming up that they're looking at some guys. I mean, La'el Collins, I know a lot of people don't like him. Let's just remind, he was a former Bengal, all right? We know that he played for the Cowboys as well, but let's just look at the Bengals and act like he wasn't a Cowboy. He might be a guy that you slide on the inside. After talking to some people, unfortunately Cowboys people, but after talking to some people about him, it sounded like he might do better on the inside. He doesn't have the athleticism to really anchor the offensive line, and we need a guard. So maybe he's a guy that you bring in. He's fully cleared from his ACL injury, so maybe he's a guy you bring in and you see what he can do for your offense. I'm of the notion that this Philadelphia Eagles team has to do everything in its power to go ahead and get better. And if that means bringing in guys, randomly, do it. Go ahead. I'm cool with it. And I think La'el Collins would be a good addition to this team, not just what he can do on the field, but, I think his the way he acts, the way he is, I think he's a hard worker. I think he would fit with this team. We'll see what happens. Again, I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but it could be a decision that the Philadelphia Eagles decide to make, and I would not be mad at that. Howie Robbery, I like that name. What up, Joe? Our biggest challenge coming up this Sunday. I think so. I mean, that is the more I talk about it, the more I'm thinking, because, you put the injuries together, you put who we're playing, right? This is going to be interesting. Get Tyler Steen some snaps. Not this game. Kataya, not this game, because the only reason why I say not this game is because I don't want your welcome to the NFL moment being against Aaron Donald, especially with our fan base. And maybe that's not fair to him, but it's the truth. He's going to go out there, and I've already seen it. I've already seen people saying, oh, so our offensive line is going to get exposed by Aaron Donald. Bro, everybody gets exposed by Aaron Donald. I mean, it's not a player in the league that has not been susceptible to Aaron Donald. He is a beast. I don't think he's gotten a sack on us yet. I will say that. But he's a great player. He's an amazing player. We don't have Brandon Brooks anymore. So he's going to come out there, and he's going to do some work. I mean, and I would hate for it to be against Tyler Steen, and then people are down on Tyler Steen because he just got worked by the best defensive lineman in the game. And that's what's going to happen. People are going to see him get worked, and they're going to be like, oh, he's trash. He's absolutely garbage. Like, nah, bro. We have to contain Aaron Donald. I want to start seeing some hot routes for Jalen when teams are being pressured. Yeah, bring pressure. Yeah, I think they're working on that, and I think that that's a cause of a lot of the miscommunication, because it wasn't something that they had integrated in the offense last year. So I think that this is something that they're going to be working on, but I also think that that's something that you can see they're having miscommunication issues. They're having communication issues with it because it's something new to them. Mark says, hey, y'all, everyone hit that like button. He ain't wrong. He ain't wrong. He is not wrong. We are good, but last year we didn't have wet behind the ears coordinators. Yeah, these guys are young. I think give it a couple weeks and they'll be fine. I mean, we're winning. If we were sitting here 2-2, I would be a little bit worried. If we were 1-3, obviously I would be probably not going live. No, I'm just kidding. But look, we are winning, and we're winning through adversity. We're winning through learning, and that's the best way you can do it. If you're going to continue to have success, even when you're not having success, if that makes sense, that's a sign of a good team, in my opinion. We might not be perfect. We might not be as great as we were last year, but I think we're a pretty darn good team. We are definitely battle-tested team this year. I love that. Yeah, and then come the playoffs, man, somebody got mad at me for, well, they didn't get mad, but they was talking junk on Twitter. That's what they always do. But, I said, look, this is when we want to learn. If you're going to struggle, you want to struggle now. And people were like, oh, that's not what makes a playoff team. Never said that. Literally said, if you're going to struggle, this is the time to struggle. So, sometimes I got to just stop listening to people on Twitter. Not sometimes. 93% of the time. I'm going to put a percentage on it. Why is Fletcher not going to a chiropractor? I think it's a little bit deeper than just, cracking his back, bro. He gets knocked the hell out every play. I mean, and especially as much as we've been playing him over 55% of the snaps every single game. He's an amazing player. He deserves all those snaps. Don't get me wrong. But, bro, he's just too old for that, man. He's just too old for that. Fletch had a surgical procedure, epidural, so it will be a minute for therapy. Yeah, I think we might be looking at Fletch being out for a week or two. They said it might just be a week-to-week thing, but we might be looking at a couple weeks of losing Fletcher Cox, which, it's fine. I mean, again, not perfect, not ideal. Don't want to lose him, but it gives these young guys some time out there on the field, which I'm happy about. Salah says we can't live this roller coaster type of experience every game and still call ourselves a Super Bowl contender. Do I agree? To a certain extent, yes. I think that if it doesn't get better at some point, like I'm giving it a couple weeks. If we can't get better by the time we're playing the Chiefs and the Bills, it's going to look crazy. But if we, are on this roller coaster ride and we still beat the Chiefs, we still beat the Bills, we still beat the Cowboys, I'm going to be sitting here saying, hey, strap me up. I'm ready for the roller coaster. It is what it is. I mean, if you're finding ways to win, you're finding ways to win. It's hard to really... it's really hard to say that we aren't a Super Bowl contender if you continue to find ways to win. You look at the Vikings last year. The Vikings won damn near every game by like 7 points or less. And, people were saying they were a Super Bowl contender. So, yeah, it's ugly, and I'm not going to sit here and act like it's not. But, I don't know. It's hard to just say no right now. Give me a couple more games. Give me a couple more games, and we'll see where I'm at. That's where I'm at right now. Of course, there's other morning shows now that I do it. Anyways, epidural's pain management. He needs that fixed if he can. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. Collins sucks, bro. Don't want him at all. I heard that he was trash on the edge. I heard that he was trash being the anchor. So if he can be maybe a better guard, I wouldn't be mad at it for depth. Would I trade for Claypool? No, I would not trade for Claypool. I would definitely not trade for Claypool. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about was some guys that aren't getting the respect that they deserve. We talked about this the other day. I asked on my Twitter, I was like, who do you guys think would be the MVP of the team so far? And Josh Sweat got a couple of votes. I liked it. A couple of people were saying Josh Sweat is that guy, and he is, man. Josh Sweat is balling out this year. 16, this is from Word on the Birds. Shout out to them. 16 pressures so far, 9 hurries, 4 QB hits, 3 QB sacks, and 1 forced fumble. Josh Sweat is one of those guys that I feel like is going to eat now that we don't have a Fletcher Cox. Not having Fletcher Cox, again, is really tough to deal with. But when you have guys like this, you have guys like, Jordan Davis, who's been dogging as well, and we'll talk about him. You can kind of make up for that. So I think Josh Sweat is a guy we're going to have to look at this week and really put some pressure on him. He's going to have to go out there and ball out for us. There's no question about it. He's going to have to go out there and do his damn thing. And I think he will. I think that, Josh Sweat has been quietly doing his thing, and now he might be a little bit loud this game. And we're going to need it. We're definitely going to need it. You look at the guys on the offensive side for the Rams. They need to get the ball out quick because Matt Stafford has a bum hip, which we'll talk about, and he's not going to be able to move around. He's not a guy that really runs outside the pocket anyways, but he is a guy that climbs the pocket. He'll utilize the pocket very well. We have to make sure that he doesn't have time to do that. We got to get there. We got to close that, pocket down, and we got to beat him. That's basically what we got to do. And another guy that's going to be huge in that is going to be Jordan Davis. Look, Jordan Davis, Thomas Peterson said despite the most double-team defensive tackle in NFL at 53%, Jordan Davis still has the highest win rate amongst all defensive tackles, 55%. The orchestrator of the best run defense in the league. Yeah, so, I mean, look, Jordan Davis has, and I've said this before, we've seen him double team, triple team. We've seen it all. So, and, he has been still getting into the backfield. Him and Jalen Carter, I think, is going to be a huge 1-2 punch. I think it's going to be beautiful to watch, if I'm being honest. So, I'm excited, man. I am so excited to see him do what he comes to do. That he is a great player. We know he is, and he's going to be huge to the success of this defense this week. So, look, Jordan Davis, Josh Sweat, those two guys, I really look at them to kind of be the anchors of this defense this week. They are going to have to do some big things for the Philadelphia Eagles. Obviously, Jalen Carter as well, but we've seen Jordan Davis do it. We've seen Josh Sweat do it. We've seen Jalen Carter do it, and, in spurts, but now we got to see it as a full game, as he goes through 4 quarters. I want to see him go out there and ball the heck out. So quickly, let's go through some of these comments. We'll go. Exactly. We And that's it. It was a divisional game. That's it. Losing to the Bears is insane. It definitely is. I think Reddick gets 2 sacks this game. Yeah, you can see it. I can see it. Yeah, the mic kept cutting out, but it should be good now. Lost by 20. That's the thing. It's not just that you lost. You went out there and got demolished. That's the crazy part. You got demolished. If you let one game define a team, please watch more football. But come on, man. Come on, Washington fans. I'm glad you're here, though, but come on, bro. It's more the concentrate on Sweat, give Reddick a chance to break out. They probably going to concentrate on Reddick more than Sweat, which that's fine. I mean, I really don't care. You can concentrate on whoever you want. Pick one player and the other guys will do their thing. Which game? Which game do we watch? Which game are you asking if we watched? Because I definitely watched last night's game. I don't think that's the one you want to be talking about right now. But we were exposed because Washington played tough. Yeah, no, I'm not really. I mean, look, it sucks to see them get it sucks to take that, to watch them take that L after you just went to overtime with them. But I'm definitely not letting that define us. So DJ Moore touchdown was just the Bears being the better team. I mean, his 3 touchdowns, didn't he have 3 touchdowns? Didn't Justin Fields have 4 touchdowns against y'all? I'm not saying they're the better team, but y'all lost to him. You know what I'm saying? Y'all definitely lost to him. But anyways, back to the Rams. Because that's who we're actually playing. So, going through the matchup, Andy, look, the Rams, they're a good team. They are, especially in the passing game, which that's where we've been struggling, defending the pass. They're second in the league as far as pass yards per game, 17th in the league as far as rush yards per game. So those are definitely 2 things that we're going to have to worry about. At the end of the day, our rush defense is something that I think that we all feel comfortable with. But, they're going to test it, especially with that pass game. They're going to test it with the play action. He likes to run a lot of play action passing. So we're going to have to be able to stay home. We're going to have to, do our job, stay in our position, not give up the edge, not give up these quick passes, not give up deep passes when we want to get, aggressive and go and stop the run. We have to stay at home. We have to, especially in the secondary. They're going to have to play a very good game this game because they are not playing around. I mean, points per game, nothing crazy. They're basically the middle of the league, 13th. Points per game allowed. They're, again, middle of the league, 15th. Basically right around where we are. Total yards per game, they're 4th, we're 5th, only a 0.8 difference. Passing yards per game, like I said, they are 2nd. We are 13th, which isn't terrible, especially how we started off the year. You look at the rush yards per game, like I said, they're 17th, we're 2nd. We're also 1st in the NFL at stopping the run, so that should be a good game, matchup to watch. Yards allowed per game, they're 9th, we're 16th. Something we're going to have to, we're going to definitely have to watch. We're giving up over 320 yards per game. That's not good. This is a team that will definitely put yards up on us if we allow them to. Turnover differential. Now, this is where I think we have to take advantage of them. We have to take advantage of them in this facet of the game because we are +4. They are -3. Matthew Stafford has gotten sacked, I believe, 9 times. He's given up 5 interceptions. Some of them have been unlucky. I was looking at the stats, and he has 3 turnover-worthy plays, but 5 interceptions. So, some of them were unlucky. It's just, bounced off of guys' hands, whatever it may be. But we need to take advantage of it. If he makes a mistake, if a wide receiver makes a mistake, we have to take advantage of it. This is not a game that we can just, make mistakes and expect to still win. That's not going to happen. So if we don't go out there and do what we need to, we can definitely get exposed very quickly, and I'm not about that. So the Eagles need to lean on their opportunistic defense, right? Maybe not giving up, maybe not stopping them every play, but, try and be opportunistic. When you see something happen, take advantage of it. Capitalize on every single mistake that the Rams make. And on the offense, slow this game down. I mean, realistically, you are 2nd in the league when it comes to rushing yards per game. Utilize that. And I don't care if Jalen Hurts has another 200-yard passing game. Let's win this game. Let's go out there and do what we have to do to win this game. If that means, you're running your running backs 15 times each, then you do that. If DeAndre Swift gets 20 carries this game, Kenny Gainwell gets 10, I'm cool with that. I am so cool with that. That is who we are. We are a run-first team. We are a dominating team up front. Let's win in the trenches, and I feel like this is the game that we can do that. Obviously, on the other end, you got Aaron Donald, but I think we can do it. We've heard time and time again when we went to the Buccaneers' house, everybody was telling us we couldn't run on them. We went out there and demolished them. So, we've heard it so many times. Oh, you're not going to be able to run on this team. You ain't got what it takes to run on this team. You guys have played trash teams. We've heard it before. Everything that they're saying about these Rams defense and Rams in general, saying we can't run on them, we can, and we're going to. This is at their house. They're, celebrating our former coach, their former coach, Dick Vermeil. Shout out to Dick Vermeil. But this is the time to go out there and just keep on proving, because every week it's going to be a different excuse. Every week you're going to hear something different. Last week it was, oh, but you struggled. This week it's going to be, oh, but you did this. Oh, but who cares? Who cares? I don't care how much we struggle. Go out there and find a way to win. And once everything starts clicking, then we fine. We are fine. And I truly do believe that the Eagles are going to be okay. I really do believe that. The Eagles are going to be okay, bro. I am not worried about who they are or them struggling in games here and there. I really am not. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We got 35 people in the chat. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe. I appreciate y'all coming here because I know other people are starting their morning shows and everything. So you got options. You know what I'm saying? You guys got options. I appreciate y'all being here with me. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe. But let's read some of these comments, man. You know what I'm saying? And don't forget to hit that poll. So far, we got 35 votes. 51% of you guys are saying, are the Rams a real test? You're saying no. 49% of you are saying yes. So it's pretty split. Pretty impressive. Usually it's like somewhere they, you know what I'm saying? Usually it's a pretty big split. As always, the NFC East is a 2-team race. Yeah, it is. I mean, looks like we're ruining everyone's celebration. That's what I said. This is, I think, the third celebration that we're having now in our first 5 games, right? Because you had Tom Brady, you had Rondé Barber, and now you have Dick Vermeil. But Dick Vermeil, I mean, I don't hate Dick Vermeil, so I'm not, you know, the Bucks one, I was at the game. I'm not gonna lie, I booed Rondé Barber when he came out because I ain't gonna lie, I'm you know, I'm petty. I don't care. He did that interception in the playoffs, and I'll never ever forgive him. So I definitely booed him. A lot of the fans were looking at me like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" I don't care. I'm sure a lot of people that were at the Patriots game booed Tom Brady's punk ass. So, you know, I definitely booed Rondé Barber. But, you know, I'm not going to boo. If I was there, I would not boo Dick Vermeil. Dick Vermeil he's a GOAT, man. Most of y'all probably ain't old enough to remember when he was the coach for the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't think I am. I don't think I was alive. I might have been alive when he was there. I'm trying to remember. I think I was very young when he was the coach. But either way, emotion, man. You want to talk about Nick Sirianni and the emotion that he has. Dick Vermeil had emotion. I mean, I remember when he finally said he was gonna kind of throw in the towel as Eagles coach. He was crying, bro. He was so sad that he couldn't get us to a Super Bowl, and you know he got so close with the Rocket. We got so close, and yeah, I don't want to think about it. Actually, I don't know why I'm bringing it up. It was sad, but shout out to him, man. This is a cool time for him to get celebrated. I was able to talk to Dante Hall about him. You know, he is a Hall of Fame coach, and he is a Hall of Fame coach. He's literally in the Hall of Fame, but amazing guy, amazing character, everything. He's literally the Nick Sirianni before the Nick Sirianni, in my opinion. We need help at safety, either Baker or Chin. Yeah, I keep on hearing that Baker is a guy that they really want. I keep on hearing that, but the more that I hear it, the less I believe it, if I'm being honest with you, because it's like, if they wanted him this bad, why not just go get him already? And I've heard that the Cardinals have went down from a first-round pick to a second-round pick, so that might, make it a little bit more palatable. Obviously, I just totally wrecked that word. Palatable. There we go. I don't know what the hell I said the first time. But, at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know if a second-round pick is too much to them, especially if they look at Budda Baker as like a short-term answer. I also heard that they're looking at, what's Holmes' names that we just signed? Dang, why am I blanking on Bradley Roby? Bradley Roby apparently got a full-time locker. Like, there's different types of lockers in the locker room. Like, you got guys that aren't necessarily going to be there that long and they get a locker, but they gave him like a locker that is apparently going to be there for a while. He's assumed to maybe be a long-term thing. He's 31, or 30, something like that. So, I mean, how long-term is long-term? Maybe 2 or 3 years, I'm assuming. I don't know. It really depends on what he does, right? It depends on what he does in the first game. If he looks trash, he ain't going to be no long-term option. It'll be interesting to see if this is his first game. I don't know. We've talked about it. I really don't know. There's so many things that the Philadelphia Eagles can do right now. Maybe you keep Job out there and keep Bradbury in the slot. Maybe you slowly bring Bradley Roby and give him, just a couple snaps to see how he does, see how comfortable he is in the defense. But this is not a game that we can really. This is not a game we can really deal with miscommunication. We need all of our defensive players to be on the same page, because if they are miscommunicating, like I said, Matthew Stafford is a veteran in this league and he will take advantage of us miscommunicating. I'll never boo Vermeil. Love the guy. Remember him when he took over as coach when truly sucked all the way to the Super Bowl versus the Raiders. Yeah, we could have won that game too. And yeah, I'll never forget, man, that him losing that game was really just, he was just like, man, he's done. He just couldn't do it. Sucks. It sucks. Vermeil almost became our coach for a second time. He wanted full control. Eagles wouldn't give it, so Vermeil turned it down. Yeah, it would have been interesting. It would have definitely been interesting. We don't like giving anybody full control. We really don't. Because we did, and now especially, right? We tried it again with Chip Kelly. That's never going to happen again. That is never going to happen again. What's going on, David? I was in grade school when Vermeil was hired. He's one of our icons and still comes to the facility he was ours first. Facts. Yeah, that's our guy. But he won a Super Bowl with the Rams, so I respect that. I understand why they celebrate him as they should. You know, he win multiple Super Bowls with the Rams, or am I tripping? Either way, he won a Super Bowl with them, so they're going to celebrate him. Good for them. Whatever. Do I sound upset? Because I am. I'm mad. So going through all the matchups and everything, I did the tail of the tape again. We do this kind of weekly. And usually there's a whole bunch of Eagles. I think the Eagles are just as good, if not better, in every single position. All right. But there's a lot of positions that I think that they're just as good at. And we start with the quarterback. Look, Matthew Stafford, he does have that bum hip, which we will get to their injury report. But I mean, he's just as good as a Jalen Hurts. What he brings to this team, they're probably different what they bring to the team, right? Jalen Hurts can kind of do a little bit of everything. He can pass the ball, he can run the ball. But with Matthew Stafford, he is a masterful orchestrator when it comes to the passing game. We see it in the stats, right? I mean, he's second in the league right now. And even his interceptions, I said it before, he has less turnover-worthy plays, interception-worthy plays than he has interceptions, which says to me that he's just been unlucky. That says to me that, you know, some players have just sometimes we've seen it with Dak, we've seen it with Jalen, where, you know, balls get tipped off of our wide receivers' hands, end up in the other player's hand, and it is what it is. You know, they get counted against the quarterback, but not really their fault, right? So, I mean, that's kind of what we're seeing with Matthew Stafford, but again, we have to take advantage of that. Only reason, and I'm going to be 100% honest, only reason why I say this is a tie, if Matthew Stafford wasn't hurt, I would probably give this to the Rams. I'm going to be real with you. If Matthew Stafford was not hurt, I would probably give this to the Rams, because the way I look at it from the tail of the tape, to kind of give a little bit of you know, context with it, is that I don't just say this QB versus this QB. I'm talking about matchups. So like our QB versus their defense, I think is very good. Their QB versus our defense, I think, is going to be very good. Now, if he wasn't hurt, I think it could have been great. He could be tearing our defense up. But since he is hurt, I'm going to say that it's even. You guys might disagree, and that's fine. But, you know, I cannot hate on what Matthew Stafford is, and I think I would be a fool to act like he's not a great quarterback in this league, regardless of age, regardless of injury. Running backs, I give it to us. I mean, you can say Hurts is better. I like I said, I'm not saying one versus one. I'm not saying quarterback versus quarterback. I'm saying quarterback versus the defense they're going against. Our quarterback versus the defense that they got, their quarterback versus our defense. So that's kind of what I'm saying, but I get it. Look, you can go either way with that. That's why I said tied. I'm saying tied. Running backs, I give it to the Eagles. I think that we have just a better running game, and I think that we can definitely utilize it this game. Run the hell away from Aaron Donald. That's my, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's going to be times that you want to go up the gut. You're going to want to run it to him, and those times, make sure he's double team. Make sure he's triple team. Maybe there's a game that you use a fullback. I don't know. I know they're not going to. But, you know, at the end of the day, our running game should be able to be successful against this team. Their running game, I think, will get stalled against our running defense. I think we're just a very good run defense. So I'm giving it to the Eagles. I think they have the advantage when it comes to running backs. Now, wide receivers, this is another spot that could probably go either way, if I'm being 100% honest. So I gave it a tie. My biggest question with the Rams is, what are they going to do with Cooper back? All right, now, Cooper is a... I was about to say Cooper Rush. Cooper Kupp is a great wide receiver. Don't get me wrong. Amazing wide receiver, right? Maybe a little bit overrated, but he's a great wide receiver. Puka has looked really good. Almost great. I think he leads the league in reception yards right now. Nobody saw him coming. But when you look at our wide receivers, you look at the wide receiver 1, wide receiver 1A, right? We got that. We have the same. I think that our wide receivers against their defense, their secondary, is just as good, if not better, than their wide receivers against our secondary. Now, when you look at our secondary, I think that we have a couple more dogs than they do. They just have not been playing up to their standard. You look at Slay. James Bradbury, in my opinion, has played well. You look at Josh Jobe. I think that he's been up and down. I know you guys are all going to say that he's trash, but, he's been up and down. So when you look at our secondary, I think that we match up a little bit better against their, wide receivers, but they're amazing wide receivers. So we'll see what they do now that they have 2 wide receivers that they got to feed. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Puka's a little bit more humble and a little bit more of like, hey, just get me involved however you want. But I feel like Cooper coming back, he's going to want to make a statement, especially after seeing Puka go off for the past couple of weeks and they didn't really need Cooper Kupp. So I think that he's going to want to prove something that can help them, that can hurt them. So I say tie, okay? I say tie, but I also think that we have a better matchup. But it's hard to count them out. So I'm going to say tie. Tight ends, yeah, Eagles. I don't even know who their tight end is, if I'm being honest. The last tight end I knew that they had was like Gerald Everett. So I know he's not their tight end anymore. I don't even know who their tight end is. Maybe you guys can help me out here. Maybe I'm overreacting here, but I think that we are tied. I think that we have it easily. I don't think that we're tied. I think you look at Albert O, if he can start getting to go. If you look at Jack Stoll has been doing very well as a blocker. He's been getting open. He's dropped a couple passes, which is kind of frustrating, but he's done well. Tyler Higbee. Yeah, I'm taking the Eagles. Tyler Higbee. I forgot about Higbee. I'm taking the Eagles easily. I'm taking the Eagles. You guys tell me, am I tripping? You taking Tyler Higbee or you taking Dallas Goedert? I mean, realistically. But so I think that the sum of all parts in our tight end room, while we haven't gotten them involved as much as we probably want to, especially fans, right? I want to see Dallas Goedert far more involved. I want to see Jack Stoll catching the passes that get thrown to him. But it is what it is. And we've had Jack Stoll on here, so hopefully his parents aren't watching, because I know that they follow the show. But I'm not talking junk about Jack. I love Jack, but we need him to play a little bit better. Earn that mullet back. We've talked about it, and you guys should go watch that interview. It was a really fun interview. We talked about a bunch of stuff. It's an old interview. It's when he first came with the team. But one thing I always go back to is he said he wanted to earn his mullet. And, look, that's how you earn it, brother. That's how you earn it. Go out there and play some good football, dog. You know what I'm saying? So I want to see what he does. But offensive line, honestly, really, Claypool just got traded to Miami. What did they get? Hold up. Wait a minute. Let me see what happened. I got to see. Y'all going to get a live reaction, all right? Y'all going to get a live reaction real quick, because I want to see. Because I didn't want Claypool. All right, I'm going to start there. I did not want Claypool, but it depends on what they had to give up. Where'd you see that they just traded for him? I want to see what they gave up. And why would you? All right, so the Bears are trading wide receiver Claypool, source tells me, and Tom Pelissaro. This ends that they haven't tried to trade him since last week. So what did they get? Ooh, wow. Maybe we should have. I ain't gonna lie. Maybe we should have. So the Chicago Bears traded Chase Claypool to the Miami Dolphins for a 2025 6th round pick from Miami. And the Bears gave up Chase Claypool and a 7th round pick. And it's not even this draft. It's 2025. Damn. They just wanted to get rid of him. They saw how the offense moved the last 2 weeks, and they were like, damn, yeah, we good. We good, brother. That is crazy. Miami ain't playing around. Why do you need him, though? Yeah, it makes your offense even more, I guess, dangerous. I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't want Claypool, but that's damn near not giving up anything. Moving from the 6th to the 7th. And looking at the Bears, their 7th round pick might be the first pick in the 7th round. So that's basically having a 6th round pick, right? That is disrespectful, Kataya's mom. I mean, but he deserves it. I'm going to be 100% honest with you, and I don't know Chase personally, obviously, but the way he's played, the lack of effort, the things he said, I mean, bro, you deserve this. You put this on yourself, and then you see the offense doing a lot better without you. It is what it is, man. I mean, sometimes things like this happen because you just don't know how to handle yourself, and I think that's exactly what happened. My girlfriend's so beautiful. Every time she walks by, I'm just like, damn, how'd I get so lucky? She's so gorgeous. All right, so let's get back to this. Offensive line, I want your input on this because I said they're even. I don't know too much about their offensive line. We will get into their injuries because it seems that they have a couple of injuries. But when you just look at the stats, it looks pretty even. Not a lot of sacks on Matthew Stafford so far. Let me look at how many Jalen Hurts has this year, actually, because I think they might be actually tied. That's crazy, but I mean, look, like I said, bro, like you can't go out there and you can't go out there and act like you don't care, because if you don't care, they will take you. They will find someone else that cares. There's way too many players in this league. You know what I'm saying? There's far too many players in this league that want to play in the NFL. If you give them a chance, then they're going to go take it. So we have 11 sacks, so 2 more than the Rams so far. So I would say even. I love our offensive line, but the injuries kind of worry me. And again, I look at the actual, matchups. We're going against Aaron Donald, and him alone, he's a beast, and they're going against some dogs. So I would say even. I would definitely say even. After Claypool killed us, he's been non-existent. He has been non-existent. But, it's one of those things that, yeah, I mean, 6'4", he ran what, like a 4.4? I mean, the kid's good. He has skills. So it is kind of surprising. I'm not going to lie, especially to give him up for really nothing at all. They gave him up for nothing at all. And then defense I have us tied as well. And, this is something you can make an argument against. I just don't think our defense has really played up to their standard. They haven't really played their type of football. So until they do, I'm not going to sit here and act like we have the best defense in the world, because we haven't shown it. And that's where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Dana? What's going on? You good? You good? I appreciate you coming through. Appreciate you being here. So that's where I'm at right now. You guys let me know if I'm wilding about anybody or any position. So far we got 46 votes on the poll. 54% of you guys are saying yes, the Rams are our first real test. 46% of you guys are saying no. This has been one of the more, even. This has been one of the more even polls. Usually it's like somebody takes over, but you guys are kind of keeping it even. I'm kind of surprised. So one more thing I wanted to talk about before we get into the injuries for the Los Angeles Rams and we get out of here. Matthew Stafford is ranked 2nd in the NFL. We've talked about this in passing yards at 1,229. He's 2nd in passing first downs at 62. And according to PFF, he has the 5th best passing grade, 79, and the 7th best offensive grade for a quarterback at 80%. This is a guy that we have to shut him down. We got to get to the quarterback. We have to. Like I said, he's not a guy that's going to get outside the pocket and go crazy, but he is a guy that can make us pay for not taking him down. He's a guy that can extend plays within the pocket. So that is somebody you got to watch out for. Now, they do have some injuries, like I said. Left tackle Alric Jackson did not practice the last 2 games. Their right guard Joe Noteboom has not practiced the last 2 games. Their running back Kyron Williams has been limited. Now, these guys are all role players. Deshaun Johnson has not practiced. Linebacker Rosaboom, I like that name, has been limited. Cooper Kupp has been full. The most previous or the most recent practice, he was full at practice. So Cooper Kupp, it seems like he's going to be there. Their offensive linebacker, their outside linebacker Mathis, he's been back full. Ben Schwarneck or whatever, I think he's their slot guy. He seems to be back full. Matthew Stafford, while he does have that hip injury, is full at practice, so he should be a go-go. against the Eagles. I don't think that there's any chance that they bench him or don't start him. So, look, we are going to go against a team that is going to test us in the areas that we're weak. We are weak in pass coverage, and we have been. So this is a team that can really help us kind of get back on the right path. Go Birds regardless. What's going on, Wheezy? Yeah, get them likes up. Get them likes up. How many we got? We got 40 people in the building. I appreciate y'all. I know this is y'all got options, man. I ain't gonna stop saying that. Y'all got options, so I appreciate y'all being here. So we got 38 people in here. We got 29 likes. Let's get it to like 35. Let's get it to 35 likes. I'll be happy about that. We don't have an overall better wide receiver core than the Rams. I don't know. I mean, look, Cooper Rush, Puka Nuka, they're. I'm not saying that we're way worse than them, but I think it's close. I think that if they can figure out a way to get Cooper and Puka back, involved together and not have to sacrifice one for the other, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to stop them. And then, like I said, you look at the matchup. You look at the matchup between their wide receivers versus our secondary, our wide receivers versus their secondary, and I think it's pretty even. I think it's pretty even. Do you think our corners should be pressing more? Yes, I do think that they need to come up to the line a little bit more, but also our safeties need to be a little bit better in communication. They need to, communicate way better, honestly, on the back end. Because there's been way too many times, and it's honestly when other guys are in there. Because like when Reed Blankenship wasn't in there, you saw a lot of miscommunication. When Justin Evans wasn't in there, you saw a lot of miscommunication. So, I think it comes down to the safeties getting more comfortable in their role, and once they do that, I think you can take a little bit more chances as far as pressing and playing that bump and run. We've seen Josh Jobe do it a bunch of times. We haven't really seen Darius Slay do it that much. Maybe they just feel Darius Slay, they feel more comfortable having Darius Slay do certain things. We'll see. Use our mismatches, keep AJ and Devontae involved in our offense. You got to. And look, our tight ends are a big mismatch as well. Our running game is a big mismatch. Everybody on our offense, if you utilize them correctly, it is a mismatch, and we just need to utilize them correctly. Tracy says it's going to be a tough game, but I think we'll win it. I do too. I think that this will be a battle. I don't think that we'll go out there and dominate them. If we do, then, perfect. I'll be on here happy as hell. 5-0, baby. But I think it's going to be a good game. I think that they're going to test us, like I said, in the areas that we needed to be tested. So I'm excited about this game. I'm excited about the prospect of the Eagles playing a full 4 quarters. I don't feel like they've done that yet. Maybe against the Buccaneers, you could say that they did. We're going to need Goddard. Goddard has been very, very useful. Goddard has been blocking his tail off, and he's a big reason why this running game has been so good. So, we do need Goddard, but, it might not be in the passing game this week again. It might not. It might be. Who knows? But I think that he has made a huge impact on this offense no matter what. What's going on, Chiquita? What's going on? Appreciate you coming in. But yeah, look, if we look at this game, I'm not going to give a prediction yet. Yeah, I will. You know what? I will, because I have Best of Enemies tomorrow, and then Sunday I usually don't go live in the morning. So I'm going to say the Philadelphia Eagles will win this game, all right? It's going to be a slug them out, knock them out type game. I think that it's going to be a high-scoring game. So I'm going to say it's going to be like 35-30. I think the Eagles win 35-30. I think it'll be very, very close, but I think it'll be close. It'll be a good game. Damn that, Joe. We need Goddard to catch some passes. Hey, as long as we win it, I really don't care who's doing it for us. I really don't. Yes, I would love to see Goddard go out there and dominate, and, people respect what Dallas Goedert is, but if this becomes a defensive game, I'm cool with that. If this becomes a A.J. Brown game again, I'm cool with that. If this becomes a Devontae Smith game, I'm cool with that. I really don't care. If this becomes one of those games where we just spread the ball out and everybody kills, I'm cool with that too. Yeah, Cox is out. Fletcher Cox is out. Cam Jurgens is out. And Marlon Tialapatu, I believe, is going to be out as well. So it's going to be tough, but I think we can win this game. So it is what it is, man. I appreciate everybody in here. Like I said, I know that there's a lot of morning shows now. A lot more people are doing morning shows, which is dope. But, I appreciate you guys coming here and spending time with me, man. It means the world to me. I cannot tell you how much it means to me that you guys come in here, kill the chat, absolutely go crazy for me. So one more time, let's look at this poll before we get out of here. And it looks like yes is running away. 57% of you guys are saying the Rams will be our first real test, and 43% of you are saying no, and that's 50 votes. So I'm excited to see what happens, and hopefully we go out there and prove to them that the Eagles are the team that we know they are. But other than that, y'all know what it is, man. Y'all know what it's going to be. It's Fly Eagles Fly. And we are out here. Say it with me if you think the Eagles going to win. Peace!
Yeah, Fly Eagles flying on the team. Touchdown, time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a Bird Gang Nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling with Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man saw Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randolph. Season here, early time to do them in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning in.